Hello. Welcome to Wellness Wednesday with Maple Tree Cancer Alliance. Whether you're newly diagnosed, undergoing treatment, or in recovery, this conversation is for you. I'm Fernanda, an exercise oncology instructor, and today's conversation is on vulnerability. And following our conversation, stick around for some gentle movement. The information in this video is for educational purposes only, and it's important to consult with your medical team for more in-depth guidance and advice. All right, let's get started. Vulnerability, as we see here, is something that allows us to open up about our fears, hopes, and dreams. And in doing so, we learn that our struggles are universal. So, in other words, vulnerability helps us see how human we are and how human everyone else is, so that we can relate better and then we can stop being scared of sharing things. Vulnerability sounds really nice in concept, but it's actually really hard and really scary to practice. And let me show you why. When we practice vulnerability, we open up about how we truly feel. So we take off the mask that we've been wearing for years. You know, the one that we hide behind when we have a bad day or when we just want to feel something that we don't want others to know. And that mask, sometimes when we take it off, means that we show that we're actually scared or angry, frustrated, maybe even in a way broken. And that tends to appear as weak. And we humans tend to not feel comfortable showing up as weak. And when we take off the mask, we open the door for others to judge us or even reject us. And rejection is super intimidating and it can be hurtful too. But let's talk about rejection a little bit more. It's really interesting that psychologists define rejection as when we perceive that others do not value having social connections with us. So it's not the actual reality, it's just a perception of reality. And we tend to do this that the more awkward or hurtful or rejectful a scenario is, the more we play it and replay it in our brains. And the more our brains are hearing those things, the more they believe them as true as reality. And so it's actually really interesting that rejection is just a perception, it's not reality. So I want you to keep that in mind as we keep learning about vulnerability. Okay, so being vulnerable looks like finding someone that you want to open up with. It can be a family member, a friend. It rarely is a stranger, so it usually is people that we trust. We have to accept the possibility to be rejected. Sometimes they will, sometimes they will not, but we have to accept it beforehand. And we have to accept pain as a normal human feeling. We've all felt it, and it is scary to feel it, but it's normal. And then once you open up with that person and have accepted those things beforehand, then just congratulate yourself that you were brave enough to open yourself up with someone and be completely honest. Now, I want you to remember something as well here. Silence is not the same as rejection. Sometimes people just don't know how to react or what to say to make things better, and that is okay. They don't have to. Rejection is different than just silence. Okay, so there are some specific fears of being vulnerable during cancer. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, what do you know about them? And you are right, I don't. But my mom and my grandma are in a cancer journey as well. And these are some of the fears that they've shared. The fear to appear weak, or that if you're vulnerable and you share how you're actually feeling, means that you're losing against cancer. And so then the less you talk about it, the less you remember that you have it, and you just bottle everything up and then keep going, push it away. The fear of being rejected by important people to you, to them, like your family, your friends, and that you feel like you need to be strong for those people at all times, when in reality, you are, like we've been saying, you're just human, and you have the right to just take a moment and feel things, and then you can move on. All right, so when we are vulnerable during cancer, it looks exactly the same that we have been discussing, but I just want you to keep these two things in mind. Again, accept you're only human and that you have permission to feel weak sometimes, feel tired, feel angry. That's perfectly fine. We've all felt it in different ways, but we've all felt it. And then remember that talking about cancer does not mean that you're giving up. It just means that you're choosing to be honest with yourself and with others, and that's it. All right, I have an invitation for you to put into practice this week. So I want you to choose to be vulnerable this week. If you're not ready to share with someone else, that's okay. Just share with yourself. Give yourself time to feel your feelings and not bottle them up. Just give them time to manifest, feel them, and then you can move up. And then give thanks to yourself that you were brave and strong enough to open up. I want to close with a quote by the great Mr. Rogers. He said, "Anything that's human is mentionable, and anything that is mentionable can be more manageable. So the more we do something, the easier it becomes, and then healing can actually come." All right. Thank you for being part of our conversation on vulnerability. I hope the information we've covered has brought you to some clarity and comfort. Your health and well-being are what matters most. So please continue to take care of yourself, stay informed, and remember that hope is always present. Now let's transition into some gentle movement to further support your journey.
Hi, I'm Morgan, your exercise oncology instructor for Maple Tree Cancer Alliance. Welcome back to week 4 of our low intensity strength training program. This week, we will be focusing on improving our posture. Good posture not only helps you look and feel better, but it also improves your overall health by reducing stress on your joints and body. Today, all we need is a wall space. Let's get started. All right, guys, we are going to start with our warm-up. First movement is going to be some shoulder rolls. So we're going to take our shoulders, we're going to pull them up to our ears, pull them back together and down. And we are going to do this 10 times, rolling those shoulders nice and slow. Really focusing on stretching those shoulders out, bringing them up to your ears, squeezing those shoulder blades back in together, and bringing those around to the front. And we got 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, next we're going to work on our pelvic tilt. So I'm going to turn sideways so that you guys can see, but we are going to put our hands on our hips and we're going to stay straight up, squeezing those shoulder blades together. And we're going to then kind of stick our butt out just a little bit, putting some pressure into our lower back and having a good arch in our lower back. And then we're going to squeeze our butt and bring our hips to neutral. So we're just going to go back and forth, putting that lower back in our arch and then forwards. And we're going to do this 10 times. This is number 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, and then we're going to go into a shoulder blade squeeze. So we're going to keep those hands on our hips, and we're going to squeeze those shoulder blades together, sticking our chest out, and then bringing them back in. We're going to do this 10 times, squeezing those shoulders, and then back in. Think about those shoulder blades really coming together, pushing your spine in the middle, and then relaxing. And 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. Then we are going to take our hands and grab them behind our back. We're going to push our hands to the floor and open up that chest, pushing it towards the ceiling. And we're going to hold this for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we're going to do this one more time for another 10 seconds. So if you aren't able to reach your hands behind your back, I want you just to push your hands toward the floor and stick your chest out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, and then we're going to do a standing cat-cow. So we're going to put our hands on the front of our legs. We're going to round our back into the ceiling, into our cat, And then we're going to stick our belly out and chest out in that lower back. And then back through into that hollow and arch. That's 2. We're going to do this 5 times. Hollow and arch. This is number 4. And number 5. All right, to finish off our warm-up, we are going to do some cross-body arm swings. So we're going to open up those arms, and then we're going to cross-body and catch that arm in front of us, inside that elbow, the opposite arm, pulling that straight arm towards our chest. And then back out, swing open, and catch again. If you weren't able to get that arm across your chest, you can keep it a little bit lower, still pulling so that we get that nice shoulder stretch. And we're going to do this 6 times. This is number 3 and 4 and 5 and last one is 6. All right, if you need a drink of water, now's the time. Otherwise, we're going to get into our workout for the day. We're going to start with our wall movements. So we need to find our wall. If you have something to grab onto on that wall, that would be great. But we're going to start with our child's pose. So you can put your hands on a chair or the wall. Either way, we're going to be putting one hand on the bottom, which is my right, other hand on the top. And we are going to push through with our head and just let those shoulders open. And then come back to center. And so we're going to hold this for about 10 seconds and do it twice. So 4 times through with both hands. So right is underneath, left is on top. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we're going to switch hands. So our left hand is now on the bottom and right hand is now on the top. And we should be leaning back, hinging at those hips, pushing our chest through. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now we are back to that right hand being on the bottom. Left hand on the top. And hinge at those hips, pushing your butt back. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the last one, putting that left hand on the bottom, right hand on the top. And pushing those hips back, pushing through those shoulders, keeping a nice flat back. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, we are going to go into a wall angel. And so we're going to stand with our back up against the wall and have our arms out to our side. And we're going to push those arms up all the way to our shoulders, trying to keep our hands in contact with that wall and then back down. And so we're going to do this 10 times, reaching up overhead, and we'll do it twice. So elbows out and reach up and come down. And we should be moving through our shoulder blades using those big muscles in our back for our movers. And reach up and down. It's 3, up and down. That's 4, 5. And our goal is to get our biceps to our ears. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, we're going to shake it out. If you are experiencing any pain in your shoulders, I want you guys to move in the range of motion that feels good, but make sure that we are still having good posture, pulling those shoulder blades back and using those big muscles in our shoulder blades to be our movers and not the little fine ones in our shoulders. All right. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, we're going to turn around again. And if you have a chair or a bar, this will be really helpful. We're doing some wall push-ups. So we're going to have our hands at an outside angle right by our armpits. And we want to keep that angle, elbow, right at a 45. So we're not up and we're not tucked. We're right in the middle. And we're going to keep that core nice and tight, squeezing those shoulder blades together. We can have flat feet or we can be up on our toes, whichever you choose, whatever feels best for you, but we are going to do a set of 10. The farther your feet are out, the harder it will be, and the closer your feet are to the wall is going to be easier. All right, let's get started. So 1, 2, 3, keeping that nice hollow body, 4, 5, 6, using those shoulder blades, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, and we're going to shake it out, let those shoulders relax. If you feel like this is really difficult for you, try to focus on using those big back muscles to help move our bodies, and we want our chest muscles to be doing some of that work too. So really tucking those shoulder blades back and visualizing those muscles doing the work really helps. All right, second set of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, good job, everybody. We are going to do a wall abductor side plank. And so what that's going to look like is we're going to put our hand on the wall, have one foot up, and we're just going to lean at an angle. So we might have to move those feet just a little bit and have that belly nice and tight. And we're going to hold this for about 10 seconds. We're going to do it twice on each side. So total of 4 times. All right. So that inside leg is the one that we're picking up. And we are leaning into the wall and holding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, and we're going to switch sides. So that inside leg is going to be the one that we are lifting up. And the farther out your feet are, the harder it will be. But we want to make sure that we're nice in line and square with our shoulder. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. Back to our starting side. This will be the last one on this side. So if you want to make it a little bit harder, you can also do these on the floor. So we're going to be leaning into that wall. Outside foot is the one that is raised, or is the one on the floor. Inside foot is raised, and hand on that hip. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try to feel that core activation. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, and switching sides. Again, we are pushing out of that shoulder. Outside foot is the one on the floor. Inside foot is lifted up. We're nice and square, keeping that chest and everything nice in line. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. So our last wall exercise is going to be a wall sit, and we're going to do this for 20 seconds. So we need to find a wall, and what we're going to do is we're going to hinge at our hips, and sit our back up against the wall with good posture, hands on our hips, and we're going to walk those feet out, sliding down till we find a spot that we can hold and is challenging for us. And so we shouldn't be putting our hands on our legs or leaning forward. We want to be leaning back and breathing, pushing those legs and pushing our body into that wall. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, when we get up, use your hands to help support you. Stand up, walk around in a circle for a little bit. Let the blood get back in those muscles, and so they're fresh, and we're going to do it one more time. All right, so we're leaning up against that wall, hinging at our hips, bending at those knees, getting down to a challenging height, squeezing those shoulder blades back. If we can, we want to get down to that 90-90 where our knees are at a 90. And 20 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And use those hands to help you get up and stand. All right. The rest of our workout is going to be standing, but we're going to be doing some lateral movements. So that means just side to side. We're going to start with some standing side crunches. And so what that's going to look like is we're going to put our hand on our head, and then that same leg is going to come out, and we're going to bend and crunch as we bring that knee up to our elbow. We're going to do 5 on each side, 3 times through. So we're going to be doing 30 total. All right, so hand on our head, foot out and up to the elbow and down, opposite arm and leg and crunch. If we need a chair, I want you to grab one because we don't want to lose any balance. So let's keep going. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, let's take a couple of deep breaths. Bring our heart rate down just a little bit. All right, and let's do our second set of 10. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, and we're gonna take a couple deep breaths, move those legs around. Take a nice deep belly breath. And let's do our third set. Hand on our head, knee to elbow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. Our next movement is going to be some lateral toe taps. So take a couple deep breaths while we demo and work through it. So we're going to be going out to the side, just toe tap and toe tap and toe tap. And we're going to do 10 on each side. And we will be doing this 3 times through. So you can put your hands on your hips, and we're going to go toe tap, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, so you should feel a little bit of burning in the side of your legs, by your butt, and your IT band. So moving back and forth and letting those stretch out just a little bit might help with that fatigue. Take a couple deep breaths. Let that heart rate come down just a little bit. All right, hands on our hips. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right. If we need a chair for some support, that is perfectly fine. Or if we want to make it a little bit more difficult, we can add a little bit of a hop where we hop feet out to the side. All right. One more deep breath. And then last set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right. Let's kind of wiggle a little bit. Stretch out those hips. Take a couple deep breaths. And we're going to do some hip abductors. So I like to hold on to a wall or an object for these. We are going to have a slightly bent leg, and we're going to raise that leg out to the side, but my knee and toe are all in line and they're facing forwards. So if we're turning our foot out and up, we're not working the muscles that we want to. So we got to make sure that that leg stays nice and focused on the front of our body. All right, we're going to do 10 on each side. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, and switch. And same thing, foot is facing forwards with that knee, bending slightly on the standing foot. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. Back to our original side. If we need to do some wiggling, sticking our hips out, stretching out those abductors and our IT bands, that's what I want you to do. And hand on our hip, bending that support leg and keeping that side leg straight. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, and switch. Okay, and make sure that that leg isn't traveling in front of us or behind us, that it's nice and in line when we're raising it to the side. All right, bend that support leg just a little bit. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, we got one more time through. Back to our original side, doing some wiggles. Take a couple deep breaths. All right, and remember, we're only raising our leg as high as we can. That's comfortable for us. Might burn a little bit because our muscles are getting tired, but as long as it's not painful. All right, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and switch. Last set. Bend that support leg out to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Let's do a little wiggle. I know my hips are tired. All right. Last exercise of our workout before our cool down, we're going to be doing alternating lateral lunges. And so what that's going to look like is we're going to take a step out nice and wide. You can put your hands in front, you can put them on your hips, and we're just going to bend as far as we can, come back up, step together, and bend and come back up. Or we can even have our feet wide and we're just going to bend and switch. So you can choose which method works best for you. This is my preferred choice. And we are going to do 10 on each side 3 times through. So you can put your hands in front of your chest, or we can have our hands on our hips, chest up, squeezing those shoulders back. And we're going to lunge, knee over toe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, let's bring those feet in. If this hurts your hips, I want you to not go nearly as wide. Or if we are having trouble with our knees, make sure that our knees are tracking over our toe when we bend and that they're not pulling in or going to the outside. All right, let's do it on our second set. So wide stance. And 1, 2, 3, keeping that back flat. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, and let's bring those feet back together. Do a couple wiggles. Take a deep breath. All right, and we got one more set until our cool down. So wide feet. Toes facing forwards, knee going over toe. 1, 2, 3, chest up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, great job. We're going to start our cool down. So let's take a couple deep breaths. Bring that heart rate down. And just like we started our warm-up, we're going to start with some shoulder rolls. So squeezing those shoulders in the front, bringing them high and squeezing them together in the back and rolling them through. We're going to do a set of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, we're going to add in some neck turns. So we're just going to look over our shoulder and then back to the other side. We're just going to flow right through the middle. We're going to do this 10 times. This is number 5. And 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, and we're going to do some neck stretches. So what we're going to do is put our ear to our shoulder, keeping our head facing forwards, ear to shoulder. And we're going to do this 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, and let's do chin to chest and the back of our head to our back. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, let's add in our side stretch. So we're going to take our hand on our hip, and then the opposite arm is going to raise up overhead. We're going to spread our feet, and we're just going to reach over to the side, and then back to center. We're going to do this 5 times. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're going to switch. So opposite arm up overhead, kind of looking like a ballerina. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, let's make it even and do another 5 on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. Last thing today in our cool down is going to be our cat cows. So again, we're going to be standing, put our hands on our thighs, and we're going to round those shoulder blades, pushing them to the back in that hollow body, and then arching, squeezing those shoulder blades together, and back again. And we're going to do this 6 times. And we're on number 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right. Thanks for joining me in week 4. I'll see you in week 5.